This is Camille Przewodek, and this is Lisa Skelly, and we're coming to you from the Hugh Skelly Gallery. And I want to talk a little bit about Lisa and why I have her representing me. She took some classes with me years ago in Northern California, so she understands my work. She's also a collector of my work. So that's the ideal combination to have for somebody representing you. She can talk about my work in a way that she understands what I'm doing, and she's a fan, so it's a perfect combination. So this is Lisa.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Hugh Skelly Gallery on beautiful Balboa Island.
So say more, how did we meet?
Okay, so Camille wants me to share with you how we met. So a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was living up in Northern California, and I paint in pastel. So I paint soft pastels, pure pigment, no oil. And I found out that Camille lived near me in Petaluma, so we were only 20 minutes from each other. Then I found out that she held Monday morning classes. So there was this master artist living near me, and I said, I want to study with her. So I said, called her up, made signed up for her class on Monday, and started going to her Monday morning classes and studying with her. I asked her if I could study in pastel. She said, sure, but you should still learn in oil as well, but I never did. And so I'm still painting in pastel almost 20 years later. But I'm a huge fan of Camille Przewodek. Her colors are like no one else's colors there. She has such skill in her composition, in her value, in her structure, and her brushwork. And it's an honor to be representing her at the Hugh Skelly Gallery. So
It's an honor, and exactly, that's how she talks about my work, and that's what you want. If somebody's representing you, they're going to understand your work, and when somebody comes in and says, tell me about that painting, she can give them all kinds of information, who I studied with, what my background is, and that's what you really want when somebody's going to represent you.
And I have lots of good stories about
just lots of good stories. So we're going to talk. We're going to show some paintings. Like today, we were painting. I had a workshop Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and some of our students are here.
Yeah, there's a panel behind the camera.
Hi. And we're going to show you a painting I did, a demo, and then we're going to show you a painting that Lisa did. So she studied with me, but she's got her own vision, and Lisa's doing wonderful pastels, and she's also showing in her own gallery. You're representing yourself, which I guess is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to show mine.
So this is a demo that Camille did just this morning at the Montage in Laguna Beach. We all went to the Montage, and she did this lovely demo for us. It was an absolutely gorgeous day out in Laguna Beach, and very much inspired by her atmosphere that she got back here, and all of the darks that she got that bring this landmass up here forward and in the foreground, and all the sparkle in the water. And you can tell, I mean, it's just a beautiful painting.
Okay, so why don't you show your painting?
Okay, so this is my pastel painting. I did a little bit different angle, but basically the same view, but just a little bit different angle. So we could put them on top of each other too.
Okay.
So this is, there was a lot of sparkle in the water, and getting the value of the sparkle next to the color of the water.
You got the sparkle.
So let's see, so there's two different versions. This is pastel, Camille's of course is in oil. And look at that light she got on the sand there. I have very little foreground in mine. It's just the water and then some sparkle through the rocks that were in front of the keyhole. And then just getting this to read that it's in the distance, like Camille. So look at that, two different, very different versions of the same view. Mm-hmm. But I was learned so much from Camille in my years of studying with her. Got it?
Yeah, good. So what I encourage my students to do, like I teach color, I'm a plein colorist, and what I encourage, I can teach you color, but it's up to you to develop your own vision. So I really encourage my students to learn the color and then develop your own vision. And that way you decide pastel or oil or whatever, gouache, And then you also decide, like for oil, like some of my students like to use palette knife, or some students like to use brush, you know, the subject matter that you choose to paint, that's all a part of your vision. So I think well, it's not easy, but it's fairly easy to develop as a colorist or as a painter, but it's more difficult to develop your vision, which separates you from every other painter out there. So I'm a plein air colorist, which really sets me apart from most other plein air painters. So that's kind of my little niche, and that's my vision. And I've used it. I put a label on myself. I'm a plein air colorist, and I had artists say, "Why are you limiting yourself?" Well, that's who I am, you know, and that really says a lot about who I am as a painter. And I also paint the light key of nature, which we'll talk about. Okay, so I'm going to show two paintings. Yeah. Okay, so there's two.
Back here, they can see.
Okay, so there's two paintings here that are very different colors and different. They're called light keys. So light keys could be like a gray day, sunny day, early morning, late afternoon. So these are two different light keys. So I'm not always using the same color. I try to go out there and maybe paint the difference between an early morning, midday, late afternoon, and maybe go to the same scene like on a gray day and try to paint the gray day effect. So, so these are examples of two very different light keys. So, okay, so what else do you want to say, Lisa?
Well, what's really great is because you've been painting for 40 years now, and the way you've developed being able to paint atmosphere in the distance and the light key, but including like the landmass reading in the distance, is like no one I've ever seen before. As far as getting that, I mean, it's so subtle. It's beautiful, and if you're doing it right, and if you're studying with somebody that can bring you to another level, like Camille, then go for it. Because if you live near somebody like I did, and I said, there's this master artist living 20 minutes from me, I need to study with her, and learn as much as I can, and absorb, you know, be a sponge. So if you have that opportunity, and she also teaches long distance learning, so she does have online classes, and she teaches workshops throughout the year, including one coming up at the beginning of April. I think we're going to do
April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on Balboa Island. We're doing another 3-day workshop. So
yeah, it should be a lovely time of the year. So if you're interested, look on our website, hugheskellygallery.com, for the update of Camille's workshop coming up, because we just secured some dates, talked about it, and we decided on April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on Balboa. Plus we'll go out on different locations like we did this week.
Oh yeah,
and
great location.
Oh my gosh, we had some beautiful places this week that we did, and we did something completely different. So study with your favorite artists like Camille, and you will get yourself to another level.
And the other thing I tell people, that in 1991 I was winning awards, I was an illustrator, and I could only paint sunny days. I didn't understand gray days, I didn't understand various light keys, and I have something on my website, I have a blog, Progress Not Perfection, where I show you the similar subject matter, a vineyard and then a house that I painted in 91. I call the trees my lollipop trees, and I didn't understand aerial perspective, and then the other ones that I did recently, I've got aerial perspective, and the trees are like much more sophisticated. So over this span of how many, 91 to now,
22 years.
Yeah, there's been like a lot of growth. So I
know that's 31 years.
30, yeah.
31
Wow.
years.
Well, hopefully there's some growth in 31 years. But
31 years.
31 years.
We should do that next time, where we should show one of your earlier pieces compared to now, because it helps people realize where they can go from where they are.
Well,
you know,
I have students saying, you know, well, I'll say, oh, I did a terrible painting, and they'll say, oh, you couldn't do a terrible painting. Then I would show them the painting. They go, wow, that's really bad. That's like even worse than what I'm doing. So
yeah,
it does help.
Yeah,
when you share those things.
Yeah, don't give up. We were just talking about that.
Never give up.
No, follow your dreams.
Okay, so I'll show another. I'm going to show I did a gray day. This is not a finished painting, but this is an example of a gray day study. We were in Sherman
Library and
Sherman
Gardens.
Library. So this is, gray days have a lot of very rich color. So I'm going to take this home and kind of clean it up and finish it. But this was probably, 45-minute demo. But this is an example of a gray day. On a gray day, usually your sky is your lightest light. Unless I would have like maybe a white object, then that would be, the light plane on that would be lighter. So, but this was an example of a gray day. And then let me show you another demo I did. The first day, and all these demos will be on my YouTube. I'm posting like this is not finished yet. I've got to clean it up, but I did a lay-in I put on my YouTube, and then I'll do the second reconsider. Anyway, so
I love this piece. Let me show them why. Because look at the white in sunlight and the white in shadow. Like, look at how beautiful these colors are. Because there's so many different colors within white.
And then look at this. The roof is a dark and light.
Yeah, dark and light and dark and shadow, and white and light and white and shadow. And it depends on the day, but I mean
that's why I picked that.
It's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then look at the trees, because these palm trees were dark. The leaves were, and the fronds were dark, but you know, light and shadow on the palm trees. They're just beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Well done, Camille.
Okay, so
we've got lots of paintings back here.
Okay, so let me show you one more. This is a scene that I paint very often. It's Eli Road in Petaluma, and I say I can't really keep this every time I paint this itself. So anyway, this is the thing I like about this is I'm up on a higher ground, so I can look down, so it gives you a different vantage point, and I think that's what people respond to in this painting.
We had a lot of that today where we were up on the cliffs in Laguna, and we had a different vantage point. So you can get some really unique paintings. Sometimes you can eliminate the sky totally and get some amazing patterns in the water and the rocks just by being above it, and do a whole different vantage point in a vista.
So are there any questions? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but there's a
two.
lot.
What is this here? This is brand new today, but I don't see any questions. This is new. This is my second.
There's a lot of people waving, so we're waving back.
So we should wave back.
Yeah, they're saying hi.
So
So we can't read who's waving at us, but we're waving right
well, I
back
can
at you.
read that, but yeah. So we're waving back at you. And what I'm driving home tomorrow, so I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do my live on Fridays, Friday afternoons. I'm not sure, maybe in 1 or 2 o'clock. But anyway, I will tell you. You know, I'll post. I'll post ahead of time. And, you know, so I hope you join me when I do these lives. I try to share some painting tips. I already did one last week, and I posted it on my YouTube channel, and it's on Instagram too. So
be sure to leave questions in the comments on this video.
Yeah, okay,
And then
answer.
she can go back and watch it and then answer some of your questions directly to you on the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this
Thanks
is
for
it.
having me on your first show.
You're welcome. It's been fun.
It's
been fun
fun.
doing a workshop down here too. I love Balboa Island. But anyway, we went to some wonderful locations. Okay,
All right.
so signing off.
Happy painting, everyone.
Yeah.
Come back and visit us.
Okay, so now how do I